Alright guys, how's it going? So, I heard a noise. Sounds like some brush hogging. They did finally mow the dike here in town. I was kind of hoping that the young guy would have gotten here before them, because then he could have cut some of that for hay. You know, it had some weeds and stuff in it, but considering how late they are most of the time when they mow the dike, I might as well have cut it for hay, right? Which is probably what I would have done if the Farm LA was up and actually functional. So, but it is what it is, I guess. So, it is what it is, I guess, at this point. So, they mowed it before he would show up, because I imagine he's busy cutting hay too. This is why I want to get our own haying equipment. I want to start, because honestly, I would have been done last week. Now, those two, they're brethrens, but I believe they're brothers, and they raise cattle together. They're the only two people that I talked to, or at least one of them anyway. But they were in town last weekend, I think it was, and they mowed all their hay that they cut here in town, and they were here Sunday, and they baled it. It actually didn't take too long to freaking dry, which was kind of mind-blowing, but, you know, it's been so freaking hot. And the hay was actually doing pretty good there. They cut the neighbor's yard, our neighbor, because he doesn't mow that big thing. So they just cut it for hay. And man, they got a few bales off of it, which is kind of surprising for that size of yard. But I remember, this is probably what, probably 15, maybe closer to 18 years ago. Well, nobody was maintaining any of that yard, so the old timer cut it. And I think that one year I think he did it for 2 years, but then the one guy that's living in there now, he moved in finally. But I believe when the old timer did it, I think he got 5 or 6 bales off of it. It's like, that's worth it. In my book, that's worth it. The young guy, he doesn't like small fields. I don't mind them. As long as they make over, I mean, I guess, 5 bales is what I would accept, but I don't know. If it's only going to make you 1 bale, it may not actually be worth it, but I'd probably still do it just because, it's 1 extra bale, so why the fuck not? So, but unfortunately, the young guy hasn't shown up yet. He said it would probably be about a week before he would even be over here. Add another week on top of that. So he should be here maybe by the weekend. If not, well, that's going to be probably early next week for sure. There's a little helicopter flying around. I don't think it's a Border Patrol helicopter. I think it's just somebody out for a joyride. So, yeah. Sounds like it's going to come right overhead. Maybe? No, they turned. So, but yeah, I wish I had our own haying equipment, Like, now, I did come across a New Holland 14 something. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but I think the 14 stands for that it's a 14-foot cut. And it would be about the same as the young guy's Macdon, but it's a New Holland, and it's obviously a little newer. Now, those brothers, they run a New Holland cutter as well, but it's a much older one. I'm not sure if it's a 14-foot or a 13-foot. I don't know. It's pretty small, but I guess for what they're doing, they don't need nothing bigger than that. But for me, I don't think I would accept anything smaller than a 14. 14 to a 16-foot is about what you need around here. 14-foot would be nice for hay, like for years like this when the hay's really thick. Because then the windrows would be much smaller, so therefore they would dry out a lot quicker. There's a deer walking on the trail, I can see that. So, but yeah, they want $8,000 for it. which I think is actually fair. I don't know what year it is. It's not brand new, obviously. It is quite a few years old, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape, like it's had a pretty good life. So if I had $8,000, I'd jump all over it. I think it's only about an hour south of here, but you don't have to go through the cities. It's a lot of just like 2-lane roads. It's not interstate roads. So, but it's still about a good hour away. And I think I'd do it. I think I'd just take the damn Tahoe down there and go get it. I think the Tahoe could pull that, no trouble. Problem is I don't know what kind of hitch it has because they didn't show the hitch, you know, because sometimes you can get a pin hitch. Some are, it's like a pin, but it slides over your drawbar. And I guess you drop a pin in that way or something. I don't know. Or you bolt it down. I don't really know. And then you have the 2-point, which hooks up to your lower lift arms. So, I don't know what that is. Probably most likely a pin. You know, a hitch pin setup. So, but they didn't get that in the picture, so I don't really know. But looked like a pretty decent mower. And then I know there's a John Deere round baler not too far from here either. It's actually a lot closer to home. They want, I think, like $9,000 for it. So, and that actually would be a lot closer to home. Problem is I don't know if the Tahoe could pull that thing home. Well, I don't know. John Deere would probably haul it. Have to pay a little extra, I suppose, for them to haul it over here. It's not that far, obviously, but I don't want to stress out my Tahoe either. It is rated to pull, I think, 7,900 pounds. I think that's like the max weight it can pull. So I think those round balers, they weigh a little more than that. So I don't know. So, but they could always bring it. So if I really wanted to, you know, buy it, I'm sure they could, you know, for an extra couple $100, they'd probably haul it up here. So, but yeah, if I had all that stuff right now, our hay would have already been done. I mean, yeah, the 15 still tore apart, but what do you do, you know? But I think it's just the idea of just getting the freaking shit here and then tinkering on it if it needs, you know, a few parts here and there or whatever, maybe a little bit of a paint job, whatever, you know, you'd have time to do it. So, but what are you going to do? So, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess, at this point, but it kind of sucks because, you know, I like to keep an eye on equipment, you know. I like to see what they go for, either at a dealer or on the Facebook Marketplace. I like to keep an eye on both, you know, just to see what they go for and if they're actually worth the price. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, I would have mowed that dike. I would have cut it for hay and then fucking baled it. You know, it's like, screw it. You know, because all of that grass is the same as what's in our field, except it's got more weeds in it, which if you would actually cut it early on, you know, you would actually probably kill a lot of the weeds. And then, I mean, I doubt you'd get a second cutting off of it, because I know that dike is probably still pretty wet, considering that the grass was, you know, like this shit here, so nice and tall, right? So, considering there's probably still a shit ton of moisture in that dike, it probably would grow really fast again. The weeds would definitely grow. But, I don't know. But yeah, I think if I had that mower, I'd do it. I'd just fucking cut it for hay. Same thing down here. I wouldn't even mow this anymore. I'd just cut it for fucking hay. I mean, you're not going to get much out of it, but why piss around with a regular mower and just, you know, cut it for hay, right? I still want to clean out more of this crap with time, but it's just another project that I'm doing, you know. Just another thing that I'm cleaning out, trying to make more ground for either to put the cows down here or to cut it for hay. So, and this is finally freaking drying out. It's still extremely mushy, But it's not, there's not really any water there now. It's all just mud. But this is where I'm driving right now. You can see it's getting kind of, it's still a little mushy. I'm trying to drive over here as much as freaking possible so I don't destroy this, because if I destroy it, well, then I gotta rip it and smooth it out. So that there's not freaking deal with it. So been staying out of here the last couple of weeks, but I figured it's probably dried up a little bit since then. But yeah, so still can't find my pocket knife. I don't know where the hell it went. I think it's out on the trail somewhere, but the young guy's got to get that fucking hay off so I can, you know, scan the ground better with my eyes. I can't do anything with that freaking tall grass. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess if I, yeah, this isn't 14 feet, but, because I was thinking if I had that 14 foot more, would I fit through here is the question. I definitely would, I guess, if these posts weren't here. But the posts are here because I put a gate here. Right now it's not up, but I got a couple things I got to do to that yet too before I can put it back up here. It's just a homemade gate, so. But the trespassing has been very minor. But at least there has to be at least one asshole once a year that's got to fucking come through here because they think it's funny. So, but, I don't know. So, but yeah, I guess if I didn't have the posts, then that would be definitely more than 14 feet. So, then I could come through here and cut for the hay. I'd have to cut the branches down. But I don't think it's 14 feet between the gates. It sure in the hell don't look like it. So, but, let's see here. Where the hell are you? So, can't really count that. So, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. So, almost. I guess I could make my gate longer, make it a through 15 foot, and then have a foot to spare, but no, I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm just saying if I had that more, I would have to modify all this, widen it, so then I could get through here with the mower and cut the hay. But yeah, I'd totally fucking cut that hay on the dike. It's such a freaking waste, but what are you going to do? So, and they don't seem to want to mow it right away. Usually they cut it on July 1st. You know, I suppose so it looks decent for 4th of July. But the last few years they haven't given a shit about it. It's always been later than that. So, and I'm always hoping that the young guy will get here before they do mow it. So then maybe he could, you know, make a couple of rounds up there. And then we could bale it. The only way that's going to happen is I got to get the equipment. I got to get my own. Because I'd probably be right up there every time, you know, well, as soon as I can. So, I mean, it's not going to get too much for hay out of it, I guess, but it's still hay that I'd take, so. But anyways, I'm going to show this off here. I've been giving the Tahoe some love. Because finally we've been having some dry spells, so I'm not 100% done yet. I guess somebody wanted to burn a tire up, so. But, you guys know how I wash, well, I used to wash it with just some simple Dawn dish soap. Like, it seemed like it did pretty good. But I noticed that it was leaving streaks behind. And now I'm not thinking so much that, because now I bought Armor All. It's a car wash liquid, so you can mix it with some, for however much water you need, and then so I used that instead of blue. It's blue liquid. You know, it's made by Armor All, so I don't know how good it actually is, but I was still getting streaking. I figured, well, I'll give it a chance. You know, I was still getting the streaking. Come to find out, if you just let the streaking actually dry, and then you can go over it again with a fiber type towel, and then you can actually wipe a lot of that away. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. The hood is still not perfect because I'm still trying to figure it out, because I went back and forth between, because they say to dry it right away with that special towel. Okay, I did that. All it was doing was making the smears, I think. So then I was like, I'll let it air dry. Well, then you just ended up with big giant water spots, which don't really come off. So, I don't know. I went over it again, wiped it down, dried it with the towel, and then I went over it again a second time with another dry towel, which, I don't know, it did a little bit better. It's not perfect. So here's the hood. I think a lot of this is just scratches and shit from my fucking cats. Some of that, which pisses me off. Unfortunately, the cat that used to lay up here all the time, I had 2 cats that did it, but it's the summertime, so now they can stay out. But I had 2 cats that would always sit on top of my blazer, and they would just make a mess of everything. One cat died about a month ago. The other cat, well, he's outside, so nobody's really spending much time in the garage anymore. I have one cat that's staying in the garage at night, but he's also staying in the house during the day. We're forcing him to stay in because I don't know if he got into something or what, but he's all fucked up now. So, we are forcing him to stay in because we don't know. Yeah. He's obviously got some kind of a brain injury or something. I don't know, because his head's always cocked to one side, and he's just, yeah. So, yeah, he don't get to go out anymore because he came back all. We let him out one night and he came back all fucked up. So now he can stay in. So he can stay in to the day he dies. Not saying that my other cats are going to do that, but this cat here, I don't know. He's a special retarded cat because he likes to lick everything. He'd probably lick freaking gasoline and diesel fuel off the floor if it was there. So, because he licks everything. So, but anyways, I had to wash the blazer because earlier that day, I washed it yesterday, I think it was. I smoked a bird. There's actually still some feathers in the grill. I haven't cleaned it out really good yet, I guess, but I fucked up a bird. I thought I took it in the bumper, but when I came and finally looked, right there. So basically right under the Chevy bow tie. So the body was the body was left behind, but all his feathers were in my grill. So that was like, yeah, well, I gotta wash my blazer. Yeah, I could have sat there and picked them all out, but there was some dirt and grime and shit on the blazer anyway. So I figured I might as well just clean it and be done with it. But the problem is that there's still a few water spots in here, but they'll come out with time whenever I decide to wash it again. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to dry it, by hand, and then just let it dry. And then when I get that streaking, then I have to wipe the streaking off, because it still looks like shit if you leave the streaks behind. It's like you just half-assed it. And I understand it's not a brand new vehicle, but I do want it to look decent to show that I am taking some pride in it. So, trying to give the old girl some love. So, but there's still, and then another thing too is that the front end was all yellow because the grass was seeding, and that was all getting up in the bumper. So it's like, I can't have that anymore. But you could really see the streaking in the doors and whatever else. Even right here, it looks like you still see water marks or whatever, but that's not going to come out unless you wash it again, and I'm not going to do that. So, but Man, even going freaking 5 miles an hour, you're still kicking up dust. Whole back end's dusty again. So, I don't know. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, you live on a gravel road, or you drive down a gravel road, so there's nothing you really do about that. So, but, I mean, you can see it's pretty, I mean, it's fairly shiny now. You know, it's not, it'll never be perfect because obviously it's not a brand new vehicle, and there is nicks and shit in the paint, so I'd have to get a like it's like a paint pen, but in this paint color, and then have to touch all that up. So I guess I got to take it to a GM dealer, so I probably could have them do that if I really wanted to, but I'd have to pay for that. But it would make me feel a little bit nicer, a little bit happier. If I just didn't have all that crap in the nicks in the damn door. So, but the other thing I did, and maybe you've seen little glimpses of it, this was just an experiment. I got some Armor All tire shine. So I shined up my tires. Now you only do the sidewall, obviously. You don't do the rim. You do the rim separately, like with your washing product. And I had to actually do this twice, because the first time I guess I must have missed some spots or something. I don't know. And it looked like they had like dirty spots, and they were massive, like they were the size of my hand. So it just looked like shit. So I went back over it again, cleaned them again by hand, and then put the tire shine on. And they are, well, if the sun was hitting it just right, it would look extra shiny. But it's like a thin layer of like oil. But I don't think that ever hardens. I think that's what gives you the shine, is that, you know, that oily, which is fine. So I decided, well, it was at like I don't know, 8:30 at night, and I was like, I'm not going to do this again. So I'll wait until today. So I pulled my Blazer out around 1 o'clock and re-shined up the tires again, re-cleaned them, and shined them back up again. And now it actually looks pretty good. So, I bought, it's Armor All, that's the brand. But it's there's like 3 different kinds. One is a liquid, it comes out like a liquid. And then the other one comes out as a white foam. I was like, well, maybe I'll give the white foam a chance and see how that does. And I'm actually kind of impressed with it. I didn't think the tire shine would do anything, but sure as fuck, it shined them right up. That's what a brand new tire would look like if it was brand new. It'd be all shiny. So, but no. Unfortunately, this tire's got a white, somewhere right there, I think it is, a white mark in it. I don't know where it come from, but I can't get it out. But you can see that there's like grass and shit sticking to it. Well, that's because it's oily. So it's sticking to the tire. So, but I think if you washed it or rinsed it with a garden hose, it would probably come right off. But I don't know. I guess you guys tell me. But I'll stand back here. So there it is, all shined up like I'm going to a 4th of July party or to a hot date. I guess this is what you'd want to do if you're going to go pick up your girlfriend. Or your boyfriend if you're a girl and you're driving this. But the tire shine thing, that was just an experiment to see if it even did anything. And I'll be damned, it did. So I'm actually kind of happy with that. I don't know. It looks good to me. I guess you guys can leave your 2 cents and tell me what you think. I mean, from a distance, you can't really see all the water crap, you know, the water spots and whatever. But the streaking, you can get rid of the streaking just by going over it again with another dry towel. It does pretty good. So, but I don't know. Looks good to me. if this was a brand new vehicle, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be shining up the fucking tires. And now another thing too, forgot to tell you this. The washing fluid that I use, or the cleaner, it has some kind of a protecting thing in it where it's supposed to protect your paint. It's not like a wax. It's not like if you were to actually wax your car. I have waxing, turtle wax. But fuck, I'd have to go through my whole entire container to wax this son of a bitch. You know, you'd only be doing the sides and the hood. You wouldn't be doing the roof. Unless you're really that stinking picky, but nobody's going to ever see that anyway. But it says on the bottle that if you did wax your vehicle, you can actually, you know, wash your car, and then that shine or that cleaner would actually put another thin layer of protection on your wax. So basically it's a protection on your wax, and your wax won't peel off as quick, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think if I was to wax this thing, I'd be doing it at a professional level. Like, you'd be having a special tool, and I wouldn't want to do this by hand. This would just take way too fucking long. You'd have to have power tools to do it. So, which costs a lot of money, but I don't know. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't clean the fender walls or the fender inside the fenders, but you know, I guess I could have, but usually I do. But I didn't feel like pissing around with it this time, so. But yeah, I don't know. It looks good. Like, I wish that the one thing I wish this Blazer didn't have. Get out of here. Is a rust starting to form. You got a rust right here, which this all could be saved if you just had the money and the time to do it. Another thing that pisses me off is in the hood. Where in the hood are you now? Right here. There's rust starting to form under the paint, so the paint's starting to bubble. Pisses me off. This fender's still decent. Starting to bubble here, right, basically right here on the fender. It's starting to bubble. Look, I look like I'm pregnant. That's just how I look like I'm 7 months pregnant, but I'm not. So, but that's what's happening there. And I don't think there was anything on the tailgate. I think there was a little bit, but no, the tailgate's still pretty good yet. Well, there's a nick in the paint, which I'm not happy about, but what are you going to do there? Again, if you just had a touch-up pen, you could just touch it up and you'd be fine. So the tailgate's still pretty good yet. And then got some more of that bubbling in the paint because it's starting to rust underneath and it's pushing the paint off. So I think the doors are still good, I believe. So, I mean, it wouldn't take much to fix this little bit of rust that's on the fenders and on the hood. I mean, if you really wanted to do it right, you'd have to sandblast the hood, you know, put a whole new paint job on it, which would be better. But then, you know, then it would look kind of off because technically you would have brand new shiny paint against, you know, old paint. But I'm not going to do that. I think I let her just... Well, I'm not going to be doing it. I'm going to have to take it to a body shop or a paint shop or whatever that can deal with that. If I really want to make this vehicle last a little bit longer. But that's really just more of a personal picky thing. I mean, another 15, 20 years and it would start to rust out again probably. So, but, I don't know. I think it would still be worth it, you know. So, considering it's only a 2012, it's really not that big. Well, it's not really a pile of piss, which is mind-blowing. So, but you tell me. It looks pretty good. Like, it looks decent. I mean, now if this was a $100,000 Tahoe, I'd be doing it. I'd be waxing the son of a bitch. Actually, the first thing I would do is find out where I can find a shop that would literally spray. You could use bed liner, the spray and bed liner, but personally I don't think that's really all that good for it. But there is like a chemical or something you can spray underneath to stop all the rusting. So, you know, the frame, the axles, anything that's steel, you can spray all that and it'll last for, well, if you use bed liner, it'll last forever, but there's a special chemical that you can use, and that only lasts maybe 5 to 10 years. I don't know, it depends how much driving you do, I guess, but that's what I would do. So, I mean, if you really truly wanted to take good care of your vehicles, and if you plan on owning it for, you know, next 500,000 miles, you know, that's what I'd do. So basically to me, yeah, I probably, this may not be worth doing it to this vehicle, but I'd still do it. If I had the money, I'd do it. Because, I mean, the frame's pretty rusted now, too, but it's not rusted through. It's actually in a lot better condition than the pickup. The pickup's frame's a lot more rusty. So, but we don't clean that. We don't give a shit about that. So, that's just a work truck. But I have been thinking about, I'm not sure if I'm going to get, like, well, if I can find a work truck, I'd be okay with that too. But I've almost been thinking about maybe finding another one of these, but an older one. But I'm also thinking, why not just get like a Trailblazer? Because they're even older. Yeah, they're going to be more rusty and kind of junky, but that's what I want to use as a work truck. I hate to use this fucking thing as a work truck. This is supposed to be my goal in the town rig. So, yeah, I put a radio and everything on it, but I put a radio on everything. So, it doesn't matter. But, yeah. And there was one Tahoe. I don't think it's for sale now. I think somebody bought it. But it was a white one, which I don't know if I'd like the white too much. But that had some issues. Ball joints were shot. It had a blown out back window, but they fixed it, I guess. It needed one new tire because they had the spare on it. And then the front bumper was all smashed out. And I was like, well, that'd be great for a work truck. Who gives a shit about it? It's already smashed. Who gives a fuck about it? Smash it more. You know. So, but yeah. But I think you can get a Trailblazer for like maybe $3,000. Of course, now they're going to have a lot more miles on them. But I really wouldn't have to give a shit about it. You know, like, because it's only a work truck. It's not going to be my goal in the town rig. So, if I go to the farm, and let's say I back into somebody, you know, or I hit somebody, and I knock the headlight out, well, who gives a fuck? I'm not going to drive it at night. And if I do, I ain't going that far with it, so who cares? I'm going like 2 blocks probably. And that's it. So, I can drive it on one headlight. So, you know, it's those kind of things. You know, if you hit a tree, who gives a shit? You know, it's a work truck. So, but I'd rather get my hands on an actual pickup truck. But the chances of finding one are they're pretty slim, especially around here. Everybody wants to keep them, so. Or they're just a big pile of piss and they're wanting too much for a pile of piss. So, come on, guys. If you got a Dodge Ram 2500 or 3500, second gen, it's got 500,000 miles on it or more, and it's all rusted out, you know, the truck's only worth, well, it's worth whatever the engines are worth. That's the only thing that's worth anything, is the engines, if it has the Cummins. Because you can get some that just had a gas engine too, but I want a diesel, so. But they're not worth $20,000, $30,000 like you guys keep fucking asking for. They're not worth that. You want a $30,000 truck, you gotta go south. Where the trucks down there are actually rust free. Because they're southern trucks and they don't have to salt their fucking roads. Compared to over here, so. But I don't know, what do you do? So I can get a Trailblazer for a couple grand. And who cares if it's, you know, fucked up. So I'll say as long as the engine's good, the transmission's good, the rear end's good, has a heater, maybe air conditioning would be nice, I guess. That's really all I need. I don't need lights. I don't need a radio, really. You know, like listen to music. I don't need that. You know, I'm gonna hit trees with it anyways. So who cares? So, but yeah, I guess guys, I'm gonna take off. Just want to share that with you. So, if you guys want to leave your comments or I guess, you know, whatever. Tell me what you think. I guess let me know. It's obviously not done to a professional level, but I'm not going to pay somebody to do it at a professional level. And it only lasts for a few weeks, you know. So, it doesn't say, though, how long the tire shine will last. I guess it'll just last for however long. You know, it could be a couple of weeks or it could be a couple of months. I don't know. Or it could literally just be a couple of days. I don't know. I've never used this stuff before, so that's all new to me. But I guess we'll just wait and see. Time will tell as to how long it'll actually last. I hope it'll last at least a month. That'd be nice, because I wouldn't have to keep fucking shining them up all the time. Not that I'm probably going to do it all the time anyway. I just wanted to do it for fun. And, you know, see how nice I can actually make the Blazer look before having to go buy a new one. So, you know, but no, you can make these old things look pretty good. Of course, consider it's not all rusted out yet. It probably will be in the next 10 years, but fuck it. That'll be my work truck then. I'll just go get me another Tahoe. So, but yeah. So, I guess that's pretty much it. I'm going to take off. And I thought I could hear the young guy running over there, but I don't know. Somewhere over in North Dakota. So, I might just be hearing things, but I don't know. So, still looking for my knife, boys. Still looking for my knife. There comes that loud boat. Great. I gotta listen to that now. But anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. I just want to show you guys the Black Beauty over here. We got to still come up with a stinking name for this thing. We haven't come up with a name yet, boys. So, I don't know. What do you think? It's black. It's good looking right now, but you wait until you get some dirt and grime put on it. So, but I don't know. If you guys can think of a name, I guess it's got to be a name that I can pronounce. It's got to be in English as well. Not that freaking Chinese or whatever. So, if you guys have any good, I guess, names, let me know. So, I don't know what we could really name it. So, that's pretty much the only thing that doesn't have a name right now. Everything else I have has a name. So, you know. Like I said, if you guys can come up with one, I guess throw it at me. Just thinking mosquitoes get out of here. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So, I guess I have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.